Putin breaking news. Adds fuel to Prigozhin's nightmares. The disgusting death of his forerunner. Vladimir Putin, the current president of Russia, and Yevgeny Prigozhin, a convicted criminal, were close friends for over 2 decades. They plundered the Kremlin treasury, corporate bank accounts across Russia's 11 time zones, and the natural resources of Mali, Libya, and the Central African Republic with the help of the mercenary army Wagner Group. According to a report by the United States Department of State, the two celebrated the poisoning of 14 of their enemies in the United Kingdom, eliminated at least 38 of their oligarch playmates, celebrated the participation of more than 4,000 of their heavily armed acquaintances in the slaughter of opponents of Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad, and rolled out a $300 million wad of cash to manipulate elections across Europe and the 2020 United States presidential race. Then, in February 2022, the staunch friends realized the lucrative potential of launching a special military operation against Ukraine, amid much laughter and cursing. Years ago, Western intelligence assets in Moscow reported that Russian mystics had assured them that victory was predestined, on account of the fact that Vladimir the Libra and Yevgeny the Gemini were a divinely matched set. After that, chaos ensued. Jealousy arose in Vladimir. As a result, Yevgeny felt completely ignored. Joe Biden's CIA station chief in Moscow probably has no idea what to tell the vice president. Taylor Swift's Mean may be the best English explanation of what is now known as the Ballad of Putin and Prigozhin. You broke my heart so I busted your jaw, a spooky-toothed melody about centuries of infidelity, disloyalty, and betrayal between odious Russian despots. One punch from you would be enough to knock me out, but you don't know what you don't know, so why are you being so cruel? Swift's question has a historical answer, albeit a nightmare from which Ukraine and its allies will not be able to emerge anytime soon. Putin's hero, Tsar Peter the Great, fought head-to-head with his own Prigozhin and an ersatz 17th-century Wagner group known as the Streltsy, a cadre of some 50,000 powerful soldier tradesmen skilled in murder, embezzlement, and racketeering. The Streltsy swore allegiance to the government, but with all the legalized raping and pillaging, it was hard for them to know who was in charge. As historian Robert Massey put it, they were a kind of collective dumb animal, never quite sure who was its proper master, but ready to rush and bite anyone who challenged its own privileged position. The Streltsy, who were only interested in making money like the Kremlin-sponsored mercenary soldiers of Wagner Group, ranging from 25,000 to 50,000 strong, attempted the suicidal action of assassinating their boss. Peter put the Streltsy's Prigozhin, Major Karpakov, on a spit and twirled him over an open fire while he and his wives and children were tortured to death. Peter had Dr. Carbonari, his personal physician, see to it that Karpakov was roasted slowly. Let me describe what happened next. As recorded by historians at Russia's State Archive, Karpakov was taken off the spit so he could take a break before being put back on the fire. Carbonari forgot his knife in the cell by accident. Karpakov's endurance had finally run out. Slit his throat with the knife. But he was too frail and fell short. After Carbonari found him, he subjected him to more torture. Peter sent the remaining Streltsy to Siberia with modest pay raises and orders to protect the empire from exile. In 1708, the remaining Streltsy regiments staged another rebellion. Most of them were killed by Peter. Putin welcomed Wagner Group's soldiers into his imperial army shortly after Prigozhin's failed mutiny and ordered a 10.5% pay raise for all Russian military personnel beginning in October. Prigozhin's new threat is well underway. Putin said this after giving his troops a pay raise. Any internal turmoil is a deadly threat to our statehood, to us as a nation. The belief that Peter the Great waged the Great Northern War for 21 years, was later echoed by Putin. Now it's our responsibility to give back what rightfully belongs to Russia, he declared. We shall fight against them, throw them in prisons, and destroy them. Recently, Prigozhin and his henchmen huddled together in Belarus. Putin now directs all military and business operations for Wagner Group around the world. The consensus on social media predicts that his former confidant and cook will be murdered by poisoning, shooting, or falling out of a window. If history is any indication, however, I would put money on Peter's secret police using the same knout, a thick, 4-foot-long hard leather whip, on Prigozhin before they throw him into the fire pit. You can safely wager on this. From his 23 years of public discourse, it is clear that Vladimir Putin is a history buff who knows that Peter the Great once said, "Russia will be saved not by pity but by cruelty." The Daily Beast has more on the topic.